In this moment, I've been thinking a lot about a story that was written in the 1700s by one of the Parisian women who first wrote fairy tales. In fact, that's where the word fairy tale comes from. And it's a story called Prince Darling. And Prince Darling is this young prince who is raised in a completely indulgent environment. Everybody pampers him. He's got everything he wants. And a fairy visits him one day, the Fairy of Truth. And she gives Prince Darling a ring. And she says, wear this ring if you want to become a good king. And so he puts this ring on, and every time he wants his own way, the ring pierces him. And finally, Prince Darling takes this ring, pulls it off his finger, and hurls it across the room and never wears it again. And from that day on, the guardrails are off, and Prince Darling becomes a monster. Like all fairy tales, it doesn't just end there. Prince Darling becomes a monster, but he doesn't realize he's a monster. And one day the Fairy of Truth visits him, and she says to him, I'm going to turn you into what you actually are. And he turns into a monster, and he runs into the woods. And it isn't until he sees his reflection in a pond that the beginning of his return happens. He sees what he's become. And the story then proceeds to show us the transformations that he goes through in order to recover his good self. And it's a very painful return. It's very painful, but it doesn't start until he actually sees what he's become. I think it takes great courage to see what we've become if we've lost our way. I think it takes a great deal of courage and a summoning of inner strength, which is really where everything derives from, is this source within. So it takes a great deal of inner strength and a resolve to reckon with what is real. And I think that's a hard thing for us to come to. It's easier to escape, it's easier to deny, it's easier to be on the run, but at a certain point it isn't easier anymore. And a reckoning happens.